So today I'm checking out the latest power supply from Lian Li. This is the RS1200G. It's a 1200 watt 80 plus gold power supply. Comes with a 10-year warranty and it's got the RS USB hub included. But we've seen all this before from Lian Li. The thing that is new, it's now got a rotational shift power supply where you're going to plug your power cable can be moved from one side to the other, meaning that you've got the choice of mounting this power supply in the traditional orientation or rotating where you plug the power supply cable in round, meaning you can have all your I/O facing towards the side, making it easy to plug your cables in. So let's take a closer look at it. So the power supply is pretty compact. It's got a square design, 150 by 150 millimeters, and we've got a 135 millimeter fan which supports a zero fan mode, switching off at low power loads, helping reduce noise. So if we take a look at the side of the power supply, this is where you're going to plug the cable going to the wall, and this bit is rotatable. It can simply be pushed around this way, or you can rotate it around the other way, meaning you're going to be able to install your power supply in two different orientations. So depending on how you rotate this bracket, you can either have it in the standard or rotated orientation. I'll show you in the standard orientation first. So obviously this is going to be facing towards the rear of the case with our fan facing down the way. So if this is the rear of the case and if we rotate things round, you're going to have all your I/O here. And this is going to be slightly more difficult to plug any cables that you need in because you're not going to have great access to the ports here. So taking a look in from the side, you see we've got the option to plug a 24 pin cable in here. But if I flip the power supply all the way around, you'll notice on the other side there's the option to plug a 24 pin cable in as well. So we've got dual ports for plugging 24 pin cables in. So for example, if you were doing a particular build where you needed your power supply installed with the fan facing up the way because you had a solid port at the bottom, you would have good access to plugging your 24 pin cable in here and still have all your standard cables facing towards the front of the case. So the rest of the cables are going to plug in to this side. We've got a single 12 volt 2x6 port. We've got 4 ports for SATA and peripheral cables, and then we've got 7 ports for EPS and PCIe cables. So we did want to have all our I/O facing towards the side of the case. All we would need to do is flip this round, and obviously we're going to want to have this end facing towards the back. So with our fan facing down the way, this is going to be the orientation that we would have it in the case. So if you were to look in from the side of the case, plugging any of the cables in that you needed to would be really straightforward. So the only thing that wouldn't be coming out towards the side would be your 24 pin cable, and you would need to plug it into the 24 pin ports on this side of the power supply, and this would then be facing the front of the case. Facing the back of the case, you're going to have this unused 24 pin port. So Lian Li in the box include these little rubber pads. So the idea is you're going to put these onto the 24 pin port that you're not planning on using. The other thing is we're going to want to have all the hot air exhausting out the back of the case. So when I rotate the other side of the power supply round, you'll notice we've got this perforated panel which we're going to need to cover over. So Lian Li include this plate to cover this perforation. You'll notice we've got a little angle corner, and we've got the angle corner on the power supply, so we just simply line it up and then we're going to secure it into place with 4 of the small included screws. So that's now going to mean that the only side of our power supply with perforations is going to be the rear of the power supply. And now that we've blocked off this 24 pin port, the only place you're going to be able to plug your 24 pin cables is this side, which will be facing the front, and then all the rest of your cables are going to go into here. This is going to be facing the side, making it really easy to plug everything in. So likewise, if you're going to be using your power supply in the standard orientation, so we've got all our cables going towards the front of the case and just our 24 pin ports on either side, you are going to have to cover this side perforation over. This time you're going to use this plate, which has a little cutout for your 24 pin cable, and again just secure it on with the same 4 screws. So this is going to mean that all the vents are covered over apart from on the rear of the power supply, so all your exhaust is going out the back of the case. And then depending on the orientation you've installed your power supply, the one that you're not going to be plugging your 24 pin cables into, you're just going to plug the little rubber covers over, and that's just going to prevent any dust getting into these ports. So if you get the 1200 watt version of the power supply, it comes with the RS hub. And this is going to allow you to convert one USB port either on the back of your motherboard or an internal USB 2.0 header into 4 internal USB 2.0 headers. In terms of how you're going to mount that, you've got two different options. You can see here it can mount onto the power supply directly. To do that, we're just going to need to pull this little cover off. And then all we're going to need to do is line it up with the port, push it into place. And then you would take the included USB 2.0 header, plug it into the white port, and take the other end and plug it into an internal USB 2.0 header on your motherboard. And that's going to then free up 4 USB 2.0 headers that you can plug additional devices into. If you've got limited headers internally, that's not a problem. You can go ahead and plug in the second cable that comes with a power supply. And on this end, we've got a standard USB Type A port, and you can plug that into a port on the back of your motherboard. Now, routing this cable to the back of your motherboard can be a little bit more difficult than reaching an internal header, and that's why Lian Li include an expansion slot bracket with a little notch in it. The idea behind this, you can replace one of the standard brackets on your case, and it's going to have that little notch allowing you to pass the cable out to the back into your motherboard. So one of the advantages of attaching the hub directly to the power supply is it is going to be powered directly from the power supply. If we just take it off, you'll see that it's this connector here that's going to power the hub. If we take a look in at the end of our hub, you'll see it also has a SATA power connector, meaning you are going to be able to use this hub remotely from the power supply. If you do want to do this, it's really important that you leave this plastic cover installed on the other end. Then all you're going to want to do is take a SATA cable coming from the power supply and plug it into the end of the hub. We'll power this by plugging it into a SATA port on the power supply. And one of the nice things about this hub is it is magnetic, so simply move it to the case where you want to and set it into place and it should stay there. So taking a look at all the cables that come with our power supply, we've got our 24-pin cable which comes with nice braided cables, and we're going to be able to use the included cable combs to help organise it. We've got our 12-volt 2x6 cable which is rated for 600 watts, and it's got the blue colour in it, so you're going to be able to tell if you haven't got it fully plugged in. We've got an 8-pin and a 4+4-pin EPS cable to bring additional power to your CPU. We've got 3 single 6+2-pin PCIe cables and also a double cable, giving you a total of 5 PCIe ports. We've got 3 different SATA cables. They've each got 4 SATA ports on them, giving you a total of 12 SATA connectors. They've got a slightly different layout in each of them, so you can choose the one that matches your layout best. We've also got a cable with 4 Molex connectors on it, and then you're going to get your wall power supply. The other additional thing that we've got is these magnetic cable clips. So the idea behind these are going to help manage your cables, so you're going to simply pass your cable through, and this magnetic bit is going to stick to your case, helping organize the cables. So the power supply is going to be available in both black and white. The 1200 watt version comes with the RS hub as standard, and with the 1000 watt version you can either get it with or without the RS hub. So in terms of pricing, the power supply starts at $154.99. That is for the black 1000 watt version without the hub. If you want to go up to white, it's going to be an extra $5, and if you want to add the hub in, it's going to be an extra $5 as well. The 1200 watt version is going to cost you an extra $20 compared to the 1000 watt version with the hub. So for the black 1200 watt version, you're talking $179.99 US, with an extra $5 for the white version. So really impressed with what Lian Li have done with this power supply. They're not just thinking about your current build, they're thinking about your next build. And adding that improved functionality and being able to rotate the orientation of your power supply round is going to hopefully make it future compatible. And with that 10-year warranty, hopefully this power supply will be lasting you for plenty of years to come. So hopefully you have enjoyed this video. If you have, please remember to give it a thumbs up. And if you're not currently subscribed to the channel, please hit the subscribe button as well.